She struggled with physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin Clark said.
The WNBA stirred up massive reactions after Caitlin Clark announced she would be leaving the America. Fans and analysts immediately went into panic mode, acting as if it was a complete disaster for the league. But honestly, at this point, it feels like the damage has already been done. Neither the fan base nor Caitlin Clark herself seems overly concerned anymore. She put in an incredible amount of hard work for her team, helped build a massive fan base, boosted marketing numbers to record levels, and brought more attention to the league than ever before. Many fans openly admit in the comments that they only started watching because of Caitlin Clark. That's when reality seemed to finally hit the executives of the WNBA. Without her star power, the foundation of their growing empire suddenly looks unstable.
What I am upset about is like, hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays all season.
But honestly, Caitlin Clark shouldn't even think about returning, because the way this league handled things doesn't exactly show appreciation. Just look at how she was treated during those 2 playoff games. After all the hard work, dedication, and energy she poured into the season, the response she received raised serious questions. Let's take a closer look at what actually happened.
Those guys, they're the racists, when really, y'all are the racists. The people coming up with excuses to hate Caitlin Clark and the new fan base that she brought.
The WNBA now seems to be in serious panic mode because Caitlin Clark has been their biggest draw and, for many viewers, the main reason they tuned in at all. Calling her the league's golden goose almost feels like an understatement. She wasn't just a key piece of the business. She was the driving force behind its surge in attention and revenue. When Clark stepped onto the floor for her regular season finale against the Washington Mystics, it wasn't just another date on the calendar. It felt like the marquee event of the entire season, with fans and media treating it as must-see basketball.
The Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,000.
More than 2,711 fans filled the arena that night, marking a record-setting turnout for a single game in the history of the WNBA. No one, especially not a rookie, had ever attracted that level of attention before. In fact, during her first season, Caitlin Clark was consistently drawing crowds of over 15,000 fans per game, numbers that were virtually unheard of for a first-year player.
The most dominant team in the league, they can't draw 500,000 viewers for a playoff game. Atlanta Dreamers and the New York Liberals. Again, the Liberals. They supposedly have stars. Remember when ESPN claimed that the Liberals had the new big 3? Dreamers, Liberals. 410,000 viewers. The other game was the Phoenix Masculines and the Minnesota Lakers.
But this is where the story takes an even bigger turn. It wasn't just the fans filling arenas. Her jersey sales exploded as well. The demand was comparable to a Black Friday rush. Whether it was established veterans or fellow rookies, no one in the league could match her numbers. Caitlin Clark was outselling everyone. The moment she put on an Indiana Fever jersey, it felt like instant gold. Fans rushed to grab a piece of what they believed was history in the making. Almost overnight, the WNBA stopped feeling like a niche league on the sidelines of the sports world and started looking like a mainstream phenomenon, largely driven by Clark's impact.
But if you're not delivering the product and you're not making the revenue and you're not, giving people the entertainment that they want, then you're not going to make any money and your league is going to suck.
People who previously had no idea what the WNBA even stood for suddenly found themselves glued to their TVs. Games were selling out, sports debate shows couldn't stop discussing her performances, and the spotlight kept getting brighter. Caitlin Clark became something close to a one-woman economic surge. Sponsors lined up to partner with her. Networks competed to broadcast her games in prime time, and even long-sitting league merchandise started flying off shelves. That's why many describe her as the league's golden goose. If she were to step away, the league would be facing serious uncertainty. Clark wasn't just a recognizable face. She had quickly become central to the league's brand and momentum. Without her drawing power, executives would be left trying to maintain the surge she helped create. The numbers reflected her impact from day one, especially in ticket sales and revenue growth. At the same time, opinions about Caitlin Clark have always been strong on both sides. Tensions appeared to peak during those 2 playoff games, where the intensity reached another level. She wasn't just battling opponents. The physical play, heated exchanges, and controversial moments added fuel to an already charged atmosphere, making those matchups some of the most talked about games of the season.
She's just not built for the physicality of this league.
Yeah,
and she's not quick enough to get away from the physicality.
And if you think it was just minor on-court tension, think again. The criticism and intensity were coming from some of the league's most outspoken figures. This wasn't routine competitive drama. It felt far more personal and escalated quickly. One of the biggest moments came after the Indiana Fever suffered a close loss to the Connecticut Sun. Following that game on September 19, 2024, Alyssa Thomas made headlines during her post-game interview. Instead of focusing strictly on the matchup itself or breaking down basketball strategy, her comments shifted attention toward the broader conversation surrounding Caitlin Clark, adding even more fuel to an already heated situation.
This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league, and she's a rookie.
But she didn't stop there. Alyssa Thomas went full force, accusing Caitlin Clark and her fans of racial bias. Thomas claimed that Clark was only receiving so much attention because she is a white player excelling in a league historically dominated by black athletes. She even suggested that Clark should be on a better team. Those comments ignited a massive backlash. Thomas didn't hold back, describing the Clark hype as, and I quote, "nothing more than a white face in a sport that's always been built on black excellence." The remark sent shockwaves through the WNBA community and sparked intense debate across social media.
Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it.
But if you thought it was just trash talk, think again. Things quickly escalated to something far more serious. Just one game later, in the first round of the playoffs against the Connecticut Sun, the tension turned dangerous. Caitlin Clark was unstoppable, scoring 26 points by the third quarter when DeWanna Bonner, who had been defending Clark aggressively all game, decided to take matters into her own hands. During a fast break in the fourth quarter, Bonner made a move that shocked everyone watching.
And this woman swats at the basketball and somehow decides to turn her hand down and her fingernails and jab them right into the eye of Caitlin Clark. No foul call. No refs stopping the game to go, is this a flagrant? None of that. Just everybody moved on.
But this wasn't a normal defensive play. She went straight for Caitlin Clark's face, jabbing a finger directly into her eye. It wasn't a light tap. It was a forceful strike that left Clark temporarily blinded in one eye. The referees? They might as well have been statues. No foul was called, no whistle blew, nothing. Clark stumbled off the court, rubbing her eye and trying to recover. But did she stay down? Absolutely not. She came right back in. That's who Clark is, relentless, fighting through pain and adversity, even when it feels like the league itself is turning a blind eye.
Your biggest star, your meal ticket, the reason why you have relevancy, just got stabbed and assaulted and nothing.
Things got even worse in Game 2 on September 23, 2024, when Candace Parker went overly physical, hitting Caitlin Clark with elbows and body slams, while referees called nothing. Off the court, critics like Cheryl Swoops attacked Clark personally, reducing her historic rookie season to her appearance or race. The hits weren't just physical, they were a direct attempt to undermine her achievements. Exhausted, targeted, and unprotected, Clark eventually decided to leave the WNBA for Europe, leaving the league scrambling. Without her, ticket sales, viewership, and sponsorships are set to plummet, and arenas like Gainbridge Fieldhouse risk returning to near-empty crowds.